King's speeches here. Always on. This changes everything. Nothing else is an iPhone, especially the white iPhone 4. Chief analyst and strategist for the Strike Back 4 Foundation's Plus One, SlowNewYorkCity.org, Foundation titled President and Vice President. Nothing else is an iPhone. And nothing else is a Tron Legacy Prize not to fail this fall. You can tell Dad he's failed to pick up the phone, as he told Alan Guth repeatedly. He's a jerk. When I'm robbed, he doesn't tell people that they're crooks. When I'm robbed, he doesn't ask me if I'm okay and safe, and how one moment I have and the next moment I don't. He doesn't want me to win the Tron Legacy Prize, which is why one of the best reasons to give it out to people like him, and tyrants behind the cash counter, Apple to Starbucks, who was public shareholder, space, air. They will not contribute anything for more than Facebook, and yet will they contribute anything from their own homes, pockets, and wallets? The answer is no. Even when they become rich like Steve Jobs and Larry Page, and are encompassing all the shareholders in one person or a few behind the cash counters at Apple Store or Starbucks. Or Columbia Lee Bollinger's CUWE funding and free speech with Lee Bollinger NYPD ambushes that he uses at MIT CP cost by Csails, MIT. Tell Mr. Ito, Joey Ito, MIT Media Lab director, the real MIT Media Lab is the miniaturized MIT Media Lab in my Google Star Trek Away phones. And of course, the Away team phones can tell Google to get that update on SPP Shell 3D to work and installed, along with all the other update installed apps that are already on my phone that cannot install. Plenty of phone memory, 11 megabytes left. And move all the goddamn apps to the goddamn SD card, class 10, 22 megabit per second, read and write. I didn't buy it for $100 for no good reason. And they're still all on the phone because without the flash card, I can still load up all the apps automatically during boot time. And it's still usable even when not loaded during boot time. They're all on the phone ROM memory. Tell Gingerbread Boys do better than upgrades. Auto installs now the OS system on the Away team Google megaphones that MIT Csails does not support Google or Google Planet services. Tell them Gmail is China, and China is Gmail, and Mr. Ito, MIT's new Media Lab director next Tuesday, tell Provost Reeve and Susan Hockfield, president of MIT, that he travels 280 days out of 365 days, soon he'll be traveling 400 days per year out of 365, and still won't know the intuition I have. Without his education in physics at University of Chicago, never graduated, Tufts University, never graduated in computer science because he doesn't understand Brian Greene's books, because the professors don't understand where the physics laws come from. As they told him, just memorize and go work on Wall Street and get an A+ grade. They themselves don't know because it's pre-built knowledge, to tell University of Chicago professors and Mr. Ito. Yet Brian Greene, standing on Brian Greene's shoulders as I met him on the #1 train with Pink Girl and Boy Blue, going to public school on 96th Street in Broadway, 8 o'clock in the morning. He got on going downtown #1 train, 116th Street this morning. As I told Alan Guth on the phone. From Verizon across CU Chase Bank, that Dad did come to meet me and pick up the phone. And of course, that's why iPhone 4 is now in white. And tell them nothing changes. But this is a beautiful phone. iOS updates for us in my phone must be better. And in Google, Star Trek Special Edition OS Gingerbread Boy and gallery pictures must be fixed before Gingerbread Boy, along with the updated SPP 3D Shell Math Script, Ultimate upgrades, and all the other apps upgrades, and download, install as well onto the goddamn SD card so I can install new programs from Google Markets. Always On is leading business media brand, networking, Silicon Global Valley. Always On helped ignite the social media revolution early 2003 when it launched the Always On Network. And later in 2004, as the first media brand social network, its online readers and event attendees. Always On preeminent executive event series include the Summit at Stanford, On Media, On Hollywood, On DC, On Demand. Tell them On Demand I want Mathematica and MapleSoft On Demand. And of course, the Always On Network sponsored the Venture Summit Silicon Valley and Venture Summit East, going green West, East, and Europe. The Always On Network and live event series continue to lead the industry by empowering the readers, event participants, sponsors, advertisers, and all the media brand. App was built through app MAKR. Visit our website at appmakr.com for more information. Now let's take a look at Office Flash and Jack. Also by the same company. Now it's Chrome browser and Java support. Office Suite copy and paste in a PC class browser. Now you can always on PC. It's your own personal virtual PC where you can run Firefox or Chrome browsers with Flash and Java. A full Office Suite integrated Dropbox and right to your iPhone. I have this on my iPhone, and soon I want to have it on my Google phone because there's no room to download new apps. But Google is Chrome browsers are at stake here. And you tell Mr. Ito, even with 400 days per year traveling, living in an airplane, you still will not see these things that we and I, the three crew members of Star Trek, can see. Barbie, Snoopy as first officer, and me as the captain commander in chief, Star Trek Enterprise Next Generation. And of course here we can see Apple stores, and especially AirBook Mac with NVIDIA 425M chip, Intel Quad 7 because I cannot put it in myself, and if not Intel Quad 7 then 4 megabyte RAM instead of 2 megabyte that comes with it. On May 12th, the anniversary of my first MIT Csails First D show. The symbolism of IBM Watson Holmes Research Center inside the Google Star Trek Away Team Megaphone issues, Research Lab versus IBM Watson. And of course, in Westchester, New York, where I used to work for BIT, the old IBM Dino, Crons, etc., and Paul Horn. And Ferrucci, IBM Watson computer leader. Versus DE show Research, Anton Supercomputer. Natural language processing insights versus mathematical insights. 912 chip, Anton. Cancer and knowledge evolution beyond protein folding inside human genomes, Erlanders, MIT Broad Institute, take over by Alan Guth, me, and Shaw. You know, the fact of the matter is, so without my insights, Ito traveling 400 days per year or 365 days per year still will not know that Google is China and China is Google, especially Gmail's suspicious activities. How stores are selfish people who satisfy their own brain software, not the laws of society, moral, ethics, or values, or even dogs they need affections for, not because they have a need to hold dog shit. They just make an excuse it doesn't smell. But my shit smells worse than theirs or the dogs. And they hold animals as their beast best friend, yet they call us, who hold supercomputer hands and program them versus dogs, as animals and beasts. Mr. Ito could not see these things living in Dubai for the past 200 days. I understand the Middle East or China is Google and Google is China, the China government. Or suspicious activity, because it doesn't do the activities and suspicious activity to front these things out with Tron Legacy Prize Not to Fail versus Mr. Obama's Nobel Peace Prize. And that's what I mean by the iPhone 4 White. I want an iOS special edition by Steve Jobs, the innovative staff member himself, and of course the Google's gingerbread boy to be better than others and not to be eaten by iOS 4. The computing phone with Star Trek Away Team issues, and to get that Gary picture fixed with the checkbox in the upper right hand corner so the menu can show up. The other issue here says iPhone 4 now available in white. Steve Jobs did not tell us, or maybe he'll send me emails. It's that the fact of the matter that we need to have the insight that I have, that Ito as no education graduate, and of course radical but brilliant, as New York Times and other people call him, such as Larry Smart, supercomputer guru in California now, SMARR. Without insight, because Sprint has HHD APA plus speed for my Google Star Trek Away smartphone issues, 7 megabits per second, stop dragging your feet. For umpteenth time, get the downloads and install new apps to work and install it on an SD card, 16 gigabyte class 10 speed. For umpteenth time, without insight, Verizon wouldn't be offering $29 per month, $29 for unlimited data, taking a 180-degree turn, leading AT&T because the Sprint has Virgin Mobile, IBM Watson Research Lab centers inside the Google phones, and the previous Boost mobile phone that we advertised. And that's why they follow us, even though 4G, 3G speed at 7 megabits per second HHDPA plus, and they don't have the capacity where they limit the speed of downloads of heavy users.